Huge, loud, deep, rumbling noise that stopped. My name is... That's fine. My name is Laura Packer. I'm also a storyteller, and like Leanie, from time to time I do school shows. When I heard that the theme was schools tonight, I was going back and forth about what to tell you because I usually tell stories to grown-ups. But then I remembered, several times a year, I have the distinct pleasure, and it is a pleasure, to tell stories to middle school students. I love middle school students. Don't give me any of these little kids who are so cute and wiggly. Come on. I'll take the ones who think that they're too cool for stories. So I was down at a school down south. Very multicultural setting. I showed up and I was told, all right, so here's what's going to happen. You are going to have 500 students. And you're going to be in the cafetorium. For those of you that don't know, that's their lunchroom. It happens to have a stage in it. The sound system makes this look like Carnegie Hall. And these kids, they said to me, these kids, it's their first period, so most of them aren't going to be too awake yet. They've just gotten off the bus. And to tell you the truth, they're kind of iffy on the whole idea of a storyteller anyway, but go for it, have fun! That's okay. I can handle this because I decided that these are middle school students. These are people who are between the age of about 11 and 14. I will tell them the most disgusting stories I know. So before I did this, I asked the teachers, have you done any medieval history yet? Oh yeah, we're writing a section on medieval history right now. I was all set. Because truthfully, most of the really disgusting stories that I know are old stories because people have been disgusting for a really long time. So I got up on stage and the first thing I did is I said to these kids, how many of you think that storytelling is really stupid? And most of them raised their hands. How many of you think that storytelling might be cool, but you're not going to admit it? It's okay, you don't have to raise your hands. And I'll tell you that none of them raised their hands, but a couple of them looked at me. I proceeded to then tell them stories that were about oozing wounds and pus and bad breath and broken limbs and hair falling out and great big mushy lumpy bodies, and they were absolutely entranced. While I was telling them these stories, I was concerned that maybe I'd never get invited back to the school again, but it was a risk. And if it lured these kids into the joys of storytelling and thinking that maybe history wasn't such a dull, boring thing after all, it was worth it. I even got the kids up on stage telling some stories themselves, and you have not lived until you've seen a 13-year-old boy trying to tell stories with a bunch of 13-year-old girls in front of 500 of his peers. It was a wonderful, vengeful moment for me. Afterwards, I asked the people who'd invited me, was it okay? I mean, was that what you wanted? And their response was, are you kidding? The teachers loved it because they didn't have to yell at the kids. The kids listened to you. Who cares that it was gross? Now, every single one of these children wants to find out how to be a storyteller. So if you're ever in doubt about what to do with a bunch of 11 to 13-year-olds, let me give you some quick tips. Pimples, farting, burping, unwelcome marriages, and a society that doesn't understand who you are, because really, isn't that what being 11 to 13 is all about? Thanks.